What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Post-Gazette Pirates YouTube channel. Colin, Beazley, and Noah Hiles coming to you after a Pirates series victory over the Arizona Diamondbacks. Just the second road series win on the season for the Pirates. They win in dominating fashion Wednesday by a final score of 10-1, their most lopsided victory on the season. We're going to recap some of the main things that took place the last 3 days in Arizona. But before we do, we want to remind you to check out all of our work at post-gazette.com. We have features, we have game stories, analysis, everything that you could ask for. And we're not the only ones writing at the Post-Gazette. We cover all sports from high school, college, and professional in the city and the surrounding area. And we also cover all the news that goes around in town. So check out all of that out at post-gazette.com. Get yourself a digital subscription if you don't have one already, or get yourself a physical paper. We print on Thursdays and Sundays. So, Colin, Pirates win this series. I got to tell you, I didn't think this was going to be a series win after the first game where they were shut out. And then they had to face Corbin Burnes and Zach Gallen in the next 2 days. But my goodness, they tally 19 runs. That's the most they've scored in any series this season. And it comes in shocking fashion. I guess we could start with Tuesday's win, the comeback. They're down 6-0. They rally to score 9 unanswered runs, 7 of them coming in the 8th inning. What's your biggest takeaway? Why do you think this offense is clicking right now?
Yeah, I was absolutely blown away by Tuesday's win. I was watching it, and every time they've gone down big this season, you've kind of known what was going to happen because they hadn't had a comeback victory in the final 2 innings. They hadn't had an offensive explosion like they'd had in both Tuesday and Wednesday. So I'm amazed that we're sitting here talking about a series win, considering they were down 6-0 as late as the 6th inning on Tuesday, and they obviously lost the first game as well. What I'd say really impressed me most about what's clicking is the fact that they're getting contributions from up and down the lineup. It's not just one guy. It's not just O'Neill. It's not just Bryan Reynolds or a Henry Davis. It's been everyone. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa had 2 of the biggest hits of this series. But yeah, I think Henry Davis and Bryan Reynolds are 2 that we have to talk about in particular.
Yeah, well, let's start off with the latter, and then we'll get to the former, because I think one's a little bit bigger of a story. This is your first year really being around Pirates baseball, so I'm just going to fill you in. June's arriving, which means Bryan Reynolds is about to turn into Hank Aaron.
But it's May.
It's May. It's still May. It's still May, but you could tell this is the signs of June arriving. It's Memorial Day, it's the weather heating up, and it's Bryan Reynolds just absolutely tearing the cover off the baseball. That was the case Tuesday. He goes 4 for 4 with a walk, reaches base all 5 times. He hits a go-ahead home run in the 8th inning, a 3-run shot, his 7th of the season. He had another hit today, a triple that drove in, I can't remember which run it was, but it was one of them. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, he's just elevating his game. And Colin, you can see the difference. I know you mentioned, and your point was correct, that in this series, it was 1 through 9. Everybody, even Jared Triolo, the 9th hitter today, had a multi-hit game. Yeah. But this offense is just so much more legitimate. I don't want to say potent, because, I mean, they still haven't done a ton. They're still second worst in Major League Baseball in runs scored. But they're a lot more legit when Bryan Reynolds is hitting the way he's capable of hitting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was impressive. And the fact that they scored 19 unanswered runs over 2 games, like that's something that is extremely impressive to see, that the entire momentum from the series, from like the 6th inning onwards, was entirely on the Pirates side. And yes, we knew a Bryan Reynolds offensive explosion was coming at some point, and we figured it would probably be in June, but still, it shows you what this offense can look like when it's not just O'Neill Cruz raking. Yeah.
And so the other guy that had a really good offensive series, I mean, not just the other guy, like you said, I think IKF had a great series. Alexander Canario had a really good series as well, both in the field and at the plate. But Henry Davis, this is a guy who looks to be taking a bit of a step forward, something that fans have desperately been looking for. over the past couple of years. I mean, Henry Davis himself has been struggling to get going. But 3 of his last 6 games now have included a multi-hit effort. He's had multi-hit game in both of the wins in this series. He hit the home run and a double yesterday. And then today drives in the first run again with a single, singles again in the 6th inning. He scored one of the 5 runs the Pirates played at that frame. He just looks a lot more comfortable, a lot more confident. It's funny to go around the clubhouse, Colin, and asking people like, what's different with this guy? Because they all say it's just the results. Everything else about Henry Davis has remained the same. And I think it's really comes down to him continuing to trust the process and, probably more importantly, getting consistent playing time, something that's probably going to continue for him now that Joey Bart's on the IL with a concussion.
Yeah. You should read the feature on Henry Davis I have coming out tomorrow morning on post-gazette.com. But yeah.
You almost got that plug off flawlessly.
I almost got it there.
You're getting there.
I'm learning. I'm working on it. But you know the stat that I'm most impressed by with Henry Davis over the last couple of games?
What's that?
Not necessarily the batting average, the OPS. Last 5 games that Henry Davis has appeared in, the Pirates are 5-0. That's something that obviously, like, it's not entirely Henry Davis. Baseball's a team game, but it's showing that he's playing well and doing the little things that lead to success. I mean that not just in the hits. Obviously, he's had a lot of hits in the last 2 games. He's been, I believe in the last 5, he's hitting .429. He's been really good there, but he's also been really good behind the plate. He's calling a good game as he's done all season. He's thrown out 50% of the runners that have tried to steal against him in the last 5 games is what I had. I might have missed one today. That's possible. But he's been really, really good defensively, and he's done the little things. Heck, even if you look at this turnaround, and again, something I wrote about a little in my feature coming out tomorrow, but his turnaround kind of started with him getting a sacrifice bunt down against the Mets. That is the definition of doing the little things. Like back then, he was batting 118. He got a bunt down. The next day, he got a hit. Next couple starts, he's doing the little things, getting hits, and it shows that he's doing the little things, and it's leading to bigger success for him.
Yeah, I mean, Henry was recalled on the 12th of April. Mm-hmm. He has pretty much established himself as Paul Skenes' primary catcher.
Yes.
And Paul, over the last month, has been as good as I've seen him. He finished May with a 1.92 earned run average. I genuinely believe that Henry Davis makes Paul Skenes a better pitcher. Or at least, allows him to use his full repertoire, where Paul threw all 7 of his pitches today. I just feel like we need to talk about Paul a little bit, but I'm going to tie it into Henry Davis. You just watch. Threw all 7 of his pitches today. 6 of those get whiffs. Having a catcher that can get the most out of this pitching staff is key, because this is a team that's built around pitching. And Joey Bart, who is a productive bat, just defense isn't the best element of his game. And Henry Davis defensively is probably the best catcher in the organization right now. And if you can just get this guy to be average offensively, the Pirates have a player that they can count on to be a key piece moving forward. It's not something they need to worry about long-term or short-term. If he can just be average. And the way he hit in this series, he hit above average. He hit like a guy who was selected 1-1. I don't know if it's time to call Henry Davis an all-star. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that Henry Davis should be this team's primary catcher moving forward until something else says otherwise. If he regresses and goes, 0 for his next 30 at-bats, then sure, Endy Rodriguez deserves another chance too. And I'm not above Endy Rodriguez getting some playing time here and there, but Henry Davis is a huge part of this franchise. You need to figure out if this 1-1 pick's going to work or not, and this is the time to do it. The season is pretty much lost. There's still, I believe, 14 games under 500. This is an opportunity to figure out what you have internally, and Henry Davis is a big part of that. He should be playing a ton moving forward, and I think that's going to be the case.
I completely agree. And you're right. He has made the pitchers better. Paul Skenes has looked really good, and I believe Andrew Heaney and Mitch Keller have both complimented him as well.
Yeah.
Pitchers like throwing to this guy. That doesn't mean they don't like throwing to Joey Bart.
Right.
They certainly like what Henry Davis can bring to the field.
So He's Colin Beazley. I'm Noah Hiles. Check out all of our work at post-gazette.com. As Colin said, he's got a feature on Henry Davis coming out Thursday. See how I did that? Flawless. You'll get there one day.
Working on it.
Yeah. I've got some stuff coming out this weekend as well, including the May report card. People really like reading those. Going to be an interesting way to grade this one because, I mean, there were 2 managers. There was a whole bunch that went on with the bullpen, the starting rotation, the offense. It'll be fun to put that together. So you can check that out at post-gazette.com and keep following this YouTube channel. Subscribe if you don't already. We'll have you covered for the remainder of the 2025 season.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.